Hey guys, so for those of you who haven't seen my video talking about this car, I recently put on some JOM coilovers and we've done a rear subframe reinforcement, and throughout that whole process obviously we've changed the suspension a lot, the geometry and everything, so the car definitely needs an alignment. And I'm not about to pay an alignment shop to do it, so we're gonna do an eyeball one here at home. So it may be kind of hard to tell on camera, but the car has quite a bit of rear negative camber, and I'm not really about that stance life. I would prefer function, so we're gonna try to even out the camber a little bit. Not exactly sure how that's done on these cars, but we'll take a look and see if we can figure it out. And then we need to make sure the toe is somewhat decent. On drift cars, typically people put about an 1/8 inch of toe in to have more forward bite, so that's what we're going to shoot for, and that is adjusted by the rear trailing arm mounts, like where the bushing is. There's 3 bolts in there, you loosen them, and then you can move the trailing arm back and forth to adjust the toe. So let's get her jacked up and show you guys what that looks like. So this bolt right here is where we can adjust the camber. As you can see, maybe, there is a little bit of room for this bolt to slide side to side, and there's a little notch in the bolt right there. And the washer has a little key on it that goes in there. And they say that you can just loosen the nut on this side and then turn the bolt on the other side, and that will move it side to side, but mine, you can tell, is pretty rusty and corroded and didn't want to budge, but it's already pretty much at the maximum for positive camber, and there's not very much adjustment to these to begin with, so I'm done fighting it. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is and run a little bit of negative rear camber. So now I guess it's time to move on to the toe. This right here is the rear trailing arm, and up in here we have the rear trailing arm bushing. There's 3 bolts that hold this bracket up into the body, and to adjust the toe we loosen these 3 bolts and we slide this trailing arm side to side, and that'll bring either the toe out or toe in. So the best way to do it is to loosen 2 of them and tighten the 3rd one, and just use 1 to adjust it until we have it adjusted. So what I did first was set it to max towed out. Now I'm going to go to the other side and set that one to max toe out, and then we'll measure it from there and see what our measurement is there, and then slowly move it in until we have an 1/8 inch of toe in. Okay, so I've got it max towed out, and it's measured 65.5 in the front and 65 in the back, which means right now it's towed out 1/2 inch. So I need to bring it in 5/8 of an inch, which would mean that I need to bring each side in 5/16 of an inch. So we'll start with this side, we'll loosen that 1 nut, and we'll bring it in until it's 5/16 of an inch less, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side, and we should get 1/8 inch toe in. Okay, so if you're using 2x4s like I am, and you're only using 1 tape measure, if you put it on the other side and then try to pull it tight and measure here, it's going to move your board over there. So what I did was put something on each side to hold it in place. But I forgot to mention earlier that as you move the front of the tire in, the back of the tire is going to come out. So you pretty much want to adjust it half of what I originally said. So I ended up moving them about 6/32 each. And now I have measured from the outside this time. Okay, so I've basically got 66 and 11/16 in the back. And then I should have 66 and 9/16 in the front, which would be an 1/8 inch difference. 66 and 9/16. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's pretty much perfect. Obviously, I would not condone doing this for a daily driver or something that you're going to be driving 100 mile an hour. But for this car, which is a dedicated drift car and pretty much only doing second gear, maybe third gear tracks, it'll do just fine for me. So I'm going to tighten up the remaining bolts on these, torque them down, and that's it. Well, the car definitely rips. The JOM coilovers feel pretty good, especially compared to the stock struts and springs. If you ask any drifter, they'll pretty much tell you that the two most important first upgrades on a drift car are to get coilovers and a seat. When I went to my first drift event, having stock suspension, the car has major body roll, and a stock seat, you're just flying all over the place. And it's hard to keep control of your car when you're focused on controlling your body and keeping yourself in the seat. So I definitely recommend the coilovers. They made it slide super easy, felt really smooth. Really have no complaints about those. And like I've said before, if you have an E36 or E46, a lot of cheap coilover manufacturers use incorrect spring rates. I believe they have the front as a stiffer spring than the rear, which is not what you want in the E36. So the JOM coilovers have proper spring rates. I believe they're 8 and 10, or they might be 10 and 12. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Hopefully I'm going to be ordering some tires soon. So once I get those in, we're going to finish off the ones that are on the car and have some fun, get some tires mounted, and be ready for the drift event. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.